Okay, y'all, real quick, let's talk about the DNC because in my entire life of witnessing Democratic National Conventions, I have never, ever experienced a DNC that was this entertaining, this engaging, and this inclusive. Baby, it is a new day. You hear me? And before I get into it, I just want to address these comments that I've been seeing. People talking about the DNC is pandering to black people. Baby, hush, because you don't know what pandering is. It's not pandering when you are in leadership of the DNC. Like, I don't know if you knew that, but a black man is the chairperson of the DNC. So when you are representing yourself, when you're in a place of power to be able to represent yourself, that's not pandering. That's progress. If you don't want progress, move around. If you want to know what's going on with the Democratic Party, if you want to know about policy, if you want to know about major players, watch the Democratic National Convention because that is where they lay all that stuff out. And I put on my letters today because I got to give a special shout out to my soror, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Baby, let me tell you something. When a Delta woman is on the case, you know you are going to be entertained, you know you are going to be educated, and you know you are going to be energized to get to work in political awareness and involvement. Another highlight, if you want to be taken to church, baby, Senator Raphael Warnock, he did that. That man got up there and preached that thing. You hear me? Go on, Doc. And then when President Biden came out there, baby, let me tell you, he couldn't even get a word in edgewise for like a good 4 minutes because the people would not stop clapping, would not stop shouting, would not stop chanting for him. And he deserved every single second of it. Because he is such a good leader, he did what needed to be done. So thank you, President Biden, for being the leader we needed in such a time as this. Then at the end of night one, we had a special surprise appearance by Vice President Kamala Harris because the candidate usually waits until the last day of the DNC to make their speech. But baby, she came out there because sometimes you got to pop out and show. Now, night two was the roll call. And everybody usually just says a cute little blurb about something that went on in their state. But this year, because, baby, listen, young Gen X is in charge, okay? We are the hip-hop generation. We are going to bring the party to the people. And I have never seen a roll call this entertaining. Baby, Lil John was there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah! And shout out to another soror who spoke on night two, Angela Also Brooks, who is running for Senate in Maryland. Please put Angela Also Brooks in the Senate. She gave a great story about carrying on the legacy of her grandmother. Please watch it. Now, the people was talking about Michelle Obama finally went low. I don't know what y'all talking about. Michelle Obama just made a quip about the black jobs. And if y'all think that's going low, baby, don't ever expect me to go high, okay? I must reside in Dante's Night Circle of Hell if you think that was low. But Barack did make a dick joke and it was funny as hell. And I will also say this. If you don't know anything about Doug Emhoff, I would suggest that you go and watch his presentation for the DNC because it really was a great portrait of who he is and it endears you to him. Now, on night three, you know they didn't come to play because they started off with Stevie Wonder. Now, the main event on night three was to obviously introduce us to vice presidential candidate Tim Walz. And Tim Walz is just a genuinely good guy. If you don't like Tim Walz, something wrong with you. But the star of the night was GusWalz. Y'all, GusWalz was just an example of pure love and joy. So if you want to be represented in the White House by people who actually have human feelings and emotions, I think the choice is clear by now. Now, night four was ladies' night, okay? Because we had some heavy hitters on that stage, but I do want to give a shout out to a real man by the name of D.L. Hewley. Shout out to the good bros. D.L. Hewley got on that stage and apologized for being one of the people who was out here spreading misinformation about Kamala Harris. And that is the measure of a real man. Now back to ladies' night, which was also a good showing of the diversity that we have in the Democratic Party right now. Deb Haaland spoke, who is the first Native American woman in a presidential cabinet. She was up there representing indigenous voices. We had Eva Longoria come through with the She Se Puede. We had Lucy McBath, who is also a soror, and Gabby Giffords, two legislators who were both personally affected by gun violence. And we also had the senator from Massachusetts, first of her name, breaker of corporate chains and billionaires, the Khaleesi of plans, Elizabeth Warren. And for the scandal fans, we also had a little Olitz moment. But Kerry Washington actually brought out Kamala's nieces to try to help everybody figure out how to pronounce Kamala's name correctly. Because as she said, confusion is acceptable. Disrespect is not. Nancy Mace. And then we had the woman of the hour, Vice President Kamala Devi Harris, who is the first Black and Asian woman to be nominated by a major party for president of the United States. Baby, we made history. In her speech, she said, I want you to know I promise to be a president for all Americans. And that right there is the fundamental difference between the GOP and the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party embraced diversity, included a lot of people, wanted equity for all. So if you want to see our country progress forward, then the choice is clear who you need to be voting for in November.